Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. We are obviously picking our TBR for August. August? Whoa, okay, slow down. Moving on, we have the TBR jar here. I asked you guys on Instagram to send in some TBR jar prompts if you had any ideas. So we have filled this candle jar. So we may have some fun new prompts in here. We may be picking some of the older ones. We'll see, I don't know. Anyways, we had a refresh with some more creative prompts and ideas. And we have a TBR here. I look at it, I feel like we've worked our way through a good chunk. Last month we read all our books. Yeah, we read all of the books that we picked for our physical TBR. So technically, like, I read all the books that I wanted to read in the month of July, which is awesome. We're really getting through our TBR. We've got our physical TBR as well as our Kindle TBR. Do we have any books that are coming out in August? Yes, we do. Yes, we do. We have some new releases that I'm not going to pick to put on the TBR because that just feels like it's cheating a little bit. We have Lady of Starfire, the final book in the Lady of Darkness series that's coming out. So we have the fifth and final book in the Lady of Darkness series, Lady of Starfire, coming, and then everything else has kind of been pushed back towards the end of the year or even the beginning of next year instead. So I don't think we have any other releases on my radar. I could be wrong. Like, I'm sure there are ARC copies or books that I want to read that have caught my attention, but in terms of my like most highly anticipated reads, it's kind of just the end of the Legacy series. I'm so not ready because then it means the final Legacy book is going to come and I have no other of Melissa's writing to read. I know she is writing a new series. We're going to have so many books to come in the Chaos verse, like her universe that she's writing. She has like 9 planned series or something. Anyways, with us kind of caught up to date with TBRs, how we did last month, and releases, I think all we can do now is pull prompts. I have some arcs here that I haven't read that I do really want to get around to, and some new releases. I need to organize my TBR, but we will do that another day. It's time to pull our first prompt. Let's pick our first prompt. Best/highest rated on Goodreads. Lara sent that in. Now, I don't actually have all of the books on my physical TBR on my Goodreads, so I'm gonna spend a few minutes updating my Goodreads with all of those, and then we will see what the best rated or highest rated book on the physical TBR is. Let's very quickly do that. The only way that I wouldn't do that is if it was like a book in the middle of a series I haven't started, obviously. Wow, so many of these aren't on my TBR. For so many of these aren't marked as one to read on Goodreads, so we're literally gonna have to go through everything. Okay, so that took a little bit of time, but we are going to go into my want to read list and we are going to sort it by average rating from best to least best. Oh, okay. So some of these aren't even out yet. Some of these books aren't out yet and they're also not on my physical TBR, and I think I want to prioritize my TBR, so I think what I'm gonna have to do is scroll down yet, because obviously Hollow isn't out yet by the Twisted Sisters. The Starborn Secrets only has 10 ratings. You know, like, we want to go with the best highest rated, but we also want to go with a book that is actually on my TBR, because my want to read list is a mix of like, oh, let me come back to that, like, let me keep an eye on that if I want some inspiration. Books that I have heard in passing, books that I've seen other people read, books that are upcoming releases. So we'll scroll until we see a book that I know I have physically on my TBR, or that I want to read. I was gonna say To Cage a Wild Bird, I have the proof of that, but it's not out yet. So does that feel like cheating? Because this is one that I definitely want to read. This is an ARC copy. It's a proof that the publisher sent me, so it's not available to buy yet, but that's one that's got 4.19 average rating. What else? Terror at the Gates. Terror at the Gates 4.22. Okay, maybe we do Terror at the Gates. That feels a bit more fair to read Terror at Gates. This just came out in July and I started reading it when I was on holiday, and then I put it down because I was like, this is not a beach poolside read, but I really want to read it, and then I have heard nothing but phenomenal things about it. So Terror at the Gates, that's not an ARC or a proof. This is a proof edition, but this is already published. So I think we're going to go with Terror at the Gates by Scarlett St. Clair for first book of this, with the prompt that Lara picked for us, best/highest rated on Goodreads. Okay, prompt number 2. Ooh, another orange one. A book that starts with an M. Winter Night 20. Picked this one. We have Game On, One Golden Summer, Collide, First Time Caller, A Touch of Darkness, Out on a Limb, The Princess Knight, What Fury Brings, A Dance of Lights, Lady of the Lakes, The Poppy War, Tough Love, FST. Do we have an M? Guys, we don't have an M. What do I do now? I think we're gonna have to pick another prompt. We'll put that one back in. All right, attempt number 2. Okay, we have a yellow one this time. An author you have never read. Okay, there's so many that we can pick. I can kind of mood read then. I can pick an arc. So we do have To Cage a Wild Bird by Brooke Fast. Everyone wants me to pick First Time Caller. I've not read B.K. Barson. I don't know if I want to pick that today though. A lot of the books that I want to pick are like continuing series. So I also want to read The Princess Knight. So we're gonna go with To Cage a Wild Bird by Brooke Fast, which is kind of what I wanted to pick with the first prompt anyway, so we ended up picking it up. And like I said, this is an ARC proof edition because it's not out yet. So this will be out later on this year, but this is dystopian. So it says, Davidium is a utopia built on one simple principle: obey or die. In Davidium, all crimes are punishable by life in prison. A prison that's a sentence in more ways than one, where the wealthy can hunt the inmates for sport. Raven's mission is simple: infiltrate the infamous and deadly Enlock prison to save her brother. There's just one problem. Raven has a target on her back. Her reputation as the most ruthless bounty hunter in Davidium precedes her, and the inmates she sent to Enlock want their revenge. So when the prison guard she's sworn to hate becomes her only chance of survival, Raven has no choice but to trust the one person she shouldn't. Yes, this is book number 2, To Cage a Wild Bird. I'm very excited for this. Also, why are UK proofs and ARC editions so cool? I get always a lot of questions asking what an ARC or a proof is. It's just like an advanced reader copy. So publishers will send them out to booksellers, people who work in bookstores, but also book creators and people who review and read books for a living, because you can read them before the book comes out to help obviously spread the word and the hype. So that's what an ARC is. So very excited. I do love a good dystopian book. So we have the first 2 books on our TBR picked. Prompt number 3. Let's get one all the way down at the bottom. Oh, we got 2. We got 3. The pink one. A BookToker chooses. Oh, this is exciting. I am going to send a photo of my TBR and I'm going to just put it in like a BookTok group chat I have, and whoever replies first is going to be the one to pick my book. So let's do that. All right, so I've said first to reply chooses one of my TBR reads. So I think we'll come back to that because I don't think anyone will reply super fast. Oh, never mind. Laura said he. So she's online. She's gonna reply. I think Laura's gonna win this one then. Laura, what are you picking for me? Oh, she said, does it have to be from the cart? Can it be a KU? I will give you full reign. So I guess we're not going with the physical TBR pick. It's time. I know. What is it gonna be? I'm scared. I can't even think about what it's gonna be. It's gonna be something like monster romance or dark, or just, she's gonna make me read something that I don't want to read that she wants me to read. Oh wait! The Poisoner by Ivy Ophelia. So I'm very excited for this, and I think Bailey also loves the book because Laura and Bailey have like the same book taste. They both like darker, gothic, indie reads. So book number 3 is going to be The Poisoner by Ivy Ophelia, and it's available on Kindle Unlimited. I was so worried there she was going to give me like a weird monster romance. She just said, were you scared I was going to make you read a monster romance? Ha ha ha. That is so funny. I love that. Okay, so for book number 3, we are reading The Poisoner by Ivy Ophelia, chosen by my BookToker bestie, Laura. Book number 4. I'm such a mood reader as well that I love when we can like spice up and have someone choose something. Even if we are straying from the physical TBR, I have such a long Kindle TBR and that is a book that was on my Kindle TBR anyways, so I'm not mad about it, but let's pick number 4. Oh, a blue prompt. We've had one of like every color so far. What Kindle Unlimited recommends. So for this one, I think I'm just going to open my Kindle app and scroll on the homepage, and whatever Kindle says is like a recommendation based off what I've recently read, I think that's what we're going to choose. So we'll have a look. A lot of like app choosing today, lots of different ways to pick the read. So we're opening my Kindle app. Okay, so we've opened the Kindle app, we're going to refresh and scroll down. So continue series we started, not out yet. It's going to be a Kindle Unlimited read. Books you may like in Kindle Unlimited. Okay. Enchantra, I've already read. Caught Up, I don't know if I want to read that. Empire of Flame and Thorns. That's actually been a recommended one to me. I'm scrolling through these. Oh, we have Insatiable as well. I do want to read Insatiable, but the first one that came up was Empire of Flame and Thorns, and it's book 1. A Fae rebel, a ruthless dragon commander, and a deadly trial that will turn their lives upside down. Trapped in the Sealy court by a forest of thorns, Selena Hale lives at the mercy of the dragon shifters. Her only chance to gain freedom is by entering the Atonement Trials, a deadly competition that pits Fae magic users against each other. Only 3 people can win, and Selena intends to be one of them. There is only one problem. Draven Riot, the ruthless commander of the Dragon Shifter army, is determined to make her lose. He symbolizes everything that she hates, and if he finds out that she is also a member of the secret Fae rebellion, he will not only mess with her chances to win, he will kill her. But the more time she spends with him, the more she finds herself inexplicably drawn to him. And there is nothing more dangerous in a lethal trial than a distracted heart, especially one that beats for the enemy. I have a feeling that Ravenhead reader read this and did not enjoy it. I think she's read this one, which is now making me not want to read it. Okay, yeah, Rachel did not like it, but other people have read it and rated it a bit higher, so maybe we will give it a chance. Maybe we will give it a chance. Is there another book here? Okay, we also have another one here, A Tongue So Sweet and Deadly. Both books 2 and book 1 have been recommended here, so no one else on Goodreads has read or reviewed it, so maybe that won't taint my opinion. But this says, half Fae Alessia could have had everything, literally. Since her magic allows her to compel anyone to do her bidding by merely looking into their eyes, the world was at her feet. But after a tragic accident, she is thrown into the Fae King's dungeon and forced to swear a blood oath to him, binding her to his service. 5 years later, she's living amongst humans in Elo and has created a life for herself, as much as she can, with the king's promise to call in his debt looming over her. When he finally comes to collect, she is made to infiltrate the human elections to determine whether the current regent is involved in the strange things happening in the land of Fae. With the promise of freedom from the king's claws, Alessia is determined to see it through. Liberty is within reach as long as she can keep the lethal Fae guard watching over her from eliminating her before she unearths the information the king seeks. But as she grows closer to the brooding human regent and secrets begin to unravel, Alessia realizes greater forces may be at play, and she might stand before the choice between her own freedom and that of a nation. I'm gonna read that one. The Empire of Flame and Thorns I will probably eventually read, but it sounds really familiar to a lot of fantasy romance books that I've read already, that I think it's just going to be quite predictable for me to read at this moment. Like, it's not, I was reading it and I'm like, I'm not fully enraptured with this, but A Tongue So Sweet and Deadly, I'm like, ooh, that's obviously giving indie fantasy romance, but it's also giving something a little bit different. Like, I can imagine where we're going to go with it and the tropes and probably the overarching storyline, but I'm also like, interesting. So we're going to read A Tongue So Sweet and Deadly for our 4th book. Book number 5. Start a new series. Oh, Laura's giving me free reign to start a new series. What do we want to read? Is A Dance of Lies going to be a new series? The contemporary books, I don't know what's, like, they're standalones or like interconnected standalones, so I can't really pick them, so it has to be a fantasy series. I really want to read Bloodmarked and I really want to read Curse Carved in Bone, but they're second books in a series. A Dance of Lies. I know this is Emily Fund, one of her favourite book series, so I think we're going to pick this. It says, Vasily Moran, once a dancer in King Ilian's court before he framed her for murder, is offered a deal. Become the king's spy at the month-long royal gathering and he'll grant her freedom. Enlisting the help of Ilian's brother and greatest adversary to help her survive at court, Vasily must decide who to trust, who to fight for, and how much of her soul she's willing to damn in the process. A lush, pacey, enemies to lovers romantic fantasy filled with intrigue. Is it a series? I don't want to like look at the back for spoilers, but I think this will be a series. I'll be surprised if it's not. This is also the UK proof edition. The book came out in June. I should probably catch up. We're gonna make that work, which means that we've got one final prompt to pull, one last book. Ooh, okay, we have a book with a purple cover by Tiffany. Thank you, Tiffany. I think we have so many purple covers. Well, actually, we got purple spines. So we got Bloodmarked. Does that count for a purple cover? The spine is purple and there's purple on the cover. That's pink. Guys, Out on a Limb has a purple spine, but not on the cover. So that's deceptive. A Touch of Darkness has some purple on it. We have Game On. It's not really a purple cover though. Enigma by Runix. Ooh, we have The Glittering Edge, which is a Fairy edition. That's purple. That's got purple on it. Okay, so it turns out I have a lot of Fairy editions that are purple. So you got The Half King That's purple. Broken Souls and Bones. Sleep Like Death. The Glittering Edge. I do want to read that. Bloodmarked and Enigma. So out of all of these purple books, I think it's going to be between these two. And I honestly think I'm going to read Broken Souls and Bones. Purely because of the fact that it looks like it's a shorter book. But I also really do need to read this. But this one is giving more purple. Like this one fits the prompt a bit better, I think. So the purple cover we've chosen is Broken Souls and Bones by L.J. Andrews. I've never read any L.J. Andrews. This is obviously a Fairy Loot edition, and the blurb says, "Together they'll restore a broken kingdom or burn it to the ground. In a kingdom long divided, Lyria BN intends to live a quiet life to avoid the intention of magic-obsessed King Demir. Until Rourke Ashwood, the monarch's silent but irresistibly handsome soldier, invades her village and uncovers Lyria's secret, that she is a melder. Gifted in the 3 magical crafts, bone, blood, and soul, a melder is highly sought after, but there is a price. Their magic is also the seed of their destruction. Forced to reveal her ability, Lyria is immediately claimed by Rourke for the king to be his next melder. Now the captive of this brooding soldier, she must find a way to escape. Could Rourke himself be the key to her freedom? What neither of them realizes is that a dangerous truth lies beneath everything. Together they will have to choose to stand against all they know or face a darker destiny." Broken Souls and Bones. That is our 6th book. Which means that we have our 6 books for the month of August picked. We have Terror at the Gates by Scarlett St. Clair, To Cage a Wild Bird by Brooke Fast, A Dance of Lives by Brittany Arena, Broken Souls and Bones by L.J. Andrews, The Poisoner by Ivy Ophelia, and A Tongue So Sweet and Deadly by Sophia St. Germain. Right, they are all our books for August. If you made it all the way to the end of this video, let me guys know what's the top book that you want to read next month that's on your August TBR, or this month actually, technically. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.